Welcome to Gracefully Finesse Podcast, where we explore leadership, resilience, and the human experiences with grace and intentionality. I'm your host, Greg Acha. I want to talk to you today on a subject I title More Soul Care, Less Skin Care. It sounds familiar, right? Have you ever noticed how much time we spend caring for our skin and how little time we spend caring for our soul? We have skincare routines, morning routines, night routines, serums, moisturizers, SPFs, name it, eye cream. We track hydration, we track our steps. But when was the last time you intentionally nourished your inner self, your inner life? This year, something beautiful happened. Lent and Ramadan started on the same day. So Christians and Muslims around the world began a season of fasting at the same time, on the same day. Two different faiths, two different traditions, different histories, but one shared rhythm, which is to pause, reflect, and realign. This made me to think, what if we spend as much time on our soul care as we do on skin care? Believe me, I know a little bit of skin care because I have three ladies in the house. Today, on this podcast, I want to talk you through a few reflection points that you could reflect on. 1. The culture of the surface. We live in a world obsessed with the surface. Filters, angles, aesthetic fits, anti-aging everything. We are constantly told to improve how we look. But we are rarely told to improve how we live, improve how we love, improve how we forgive, improve how we think. Skincare is about preserving of appearance. But friends, soul care is about transformation of character, of the inner self, of the inner you. So the world we live today have established a culture of the surface, where you look at polishing the outside and not transforming the inside. And here's the truth. Your outer appearance will change no matter what you do. How I look today, no matter what I do, is not how I'm going to look when I'm 100. But friends, your inner life, your inner self is what shapes everything. It shapes your purpose. It shapes your peace, your decisions, and your relationships. Reflect on that point. The next point worth of reflection, point number 2, is why fasting is actually soul training. When Christians enter the Lent, they often give up to 40 days. During this time, they give up certain food, certain habits, certain distractions as a way of reflecting on sacrifice, as a way of prayer and dependence on God. Likewise, during the Ramadan, Muslims fast from dawn to dusk for an entire month, no food, no water, focusing on discipline, prayer, generosity, and spiritual purification. Now on the surface, fasting looks like restriction or deprivation from food. But fasting is not about food. is about awareness. When you remove something you depend on, for example, food, sugar, social media, or noise, you suddenly become aware of how attached you are. You now notice your impatience. You notice your cravings. You notice your ego. You notice your gratitude or lack of gratitude. Fasting reveals what comforts us and sometimes what controls us. You see your strength during fasting so you can strengthen them. But also you see your weaknesses and you can work on them. That is soul care. So for me, fasting is actually training your soul, is a form of soul care. Think about it. Point number 3 of reflection is the shared lesson of Lent and Ramadan. The shared lesson of Lent and Ramadan, especially this year, where they both began on the same day. I think that's a reminder that at a deeper level, we are not different. Both traditions emphasize on self-discipline, reflection, prayer, compassion, and generosity. When you feel hunger, you remember those who are hungry every day. Or I put it differently, when you feel hunger during the Lent or Ramadan, whichever one you observe, do remember those who are hungry every day. When you practice restraint, it helps you build an inner strength. When you pause on habits or your usual habits, you create a space for clarity. Both seasons ask the same question. What do you need to redefine inside of you? And what do you need to refine inside of you? Not about what you need to polish in the surface, but what do you need to refine inside of you? So there's a difference between polishing and refining, because polishing improves the surface. What people see, what other people see, what the world sees. But refining changes the substance or the being from the inside out. Reflection point number 4. More soul care in a distracted world. In a world we live today, we need more soul care. The challenge today is that we live in a constant simulation. And even myself today, I've been so simulated. Notifications everywhere, ads, noise, consumption. The Easter period is coming. You see what happens in the malls and all that. We are overfed physically and undernourished spiritually. So maybe your fast this season isn't just fast from food. Because the fasting is not just about food. It's not about depriving yourself from food. Maybe it's fasting from comparison. Because that's a big problem. Where people compare themselves with others constantly. Fasting, it might be fasting from negativity. It might be fasting from constant scrolling. That's part of my own fast. Because I got into this scrolling exercise that I couldn't stop. It might be fasting from overworking. Because, every one of us also need rest. Your fast may be actually fasting from the need to always be right. So look inside of yourself as, we're already halfway, both for the Christians and Muslims, but look inside of you and think about this point. What are you fasting? Are you just fasting food? Or there are other areas of your life that you truly need to fast? What if you fasted from resentment? What about if you fasted from self-doubt? What if you fasted from rushing? Because there are certain people who are always on the move, always in a rush. What if you fasted from that kind of slow down a bit? Soul care doesn't always require a dramatic act. Sometimes it just requires the intentionality to do it. Take a moment and think about this and many more areas that you could be fasting. That takes us to the fifth point of reflection. And that's a personal moment of reflection. Your personal moment of reflection. My personal moment of reflection. What do I spend my time maintaining? Is it my image or my integrity? I'll say it again. What do you spend your time maintaining? Is it an image, or are you spending time maintaining your integrity? If someone looked at your calendar, would they see an evidence of a soul care? Do you create a space to reflect, to pray, or meditate, to journal, to sit in silence, or to serve someone without recognition? We schedule all manner of appointments, facials, haircuts, gym sessions. Do you schedule time for your soul? Do you schedule time to examine your heart? Do you schedule time just to be with yourself? I want you to take a moment and answer that question. And I'll go to the sixth point, which is the beauty of inner work. Here is something interesting, friends. When someone has peace, you feel it. When I walk or I meet someone who has peace, I can feel it. I can feel the positive vibe or the peace that they transfer or they emit out. When someone has depth, you sense it. When someone has compassion, it doesn't hide, it shows. That glow of someone with compassion doesn't come from a cosmetic serum. It comes from discipline. It comes from humility. It comes from reflection, from a place of prayer, and from generosity. The most radiant people I've met are not the ones with perfected skincare routines, but they are the ones who have mastered self-awareness and kindness. Self-awareness and kindness. And those are true works of inner beauty. And that takes me to the seventh point, which is a practical invitation. where I'm inviting you this season, even if you've not started, whether you observe Lent or you observe Ramadan or both or neither, whether you started already or you have not, I want to invite you to be intentional about your soul care. Take 10 minutes a day. Start with 5 minutes to be silent. Just be by yourself. Gratitude journaling, that helped me so much when I had burnout. Do every day a journal about the things you're grateful about. Giving anonymously. A digital sunset after 8 p.m. That has really helped my sleep. Calling someone you need to forgive. I think that's a tough one, even for myself. But give it a try. Call someone who probably have hurt you that you need to forgive. And be the person that reaches out to say, hello, how are you doing? Read something that stretches your perspective. And I've seen that reading, has really helped me lately to think differently, look at things differently, and actually reset my mind very well. Let this be a season where you care about more about you and less about how you appear. That's the 7 reflection points that I have today for you about soul care. I say it again. The fact that Lent and Ramadan aligned this year feels very symbolic. Different paths, shared purpose, inner refinement. Maybe this is a reminder that beneath all our differences, we are all longing for one same thing: alignment, meaningful living, and depth. So this season, try this: more soul care, less skincare. Now, I'm not telling you, not to do your skincare. But all I'm saying is put in more effort on your soul care, the same way you do your skincare. Because while skin eventually wrinkles, a refined soul only becomes more beautiful with time. I want to thank you for listening, and I would love to hear from you. What are you fasting from this season? Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gracefully Finesse Podcast. If this message spoke to you, and if it has stirred something inside of you in your purpose or your personal growth, I invite you to share it with a friend. Don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a quick rating or review, and connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram. I'd love to hear how you are applying these insights in your world, especially this season. Until next time, stay grounded, keep refining your soul, and most importantly, live gracefully. Thank you for joining me today.